what can be done about the food waste problem? What can you do? First of all, simple things like storing your food properly. Don't look at the aesthetics of your food. Yes, sure, your banana doesn't look that great anymore, but you can still eat it. And of course, also use your leftovers. Don't throw them away. A more complicated approach is to think of a legal framework. For example, in 2016, France adopted a new law on fighting food waste that forced supermarkets to donate food or unsold products instead of destroying them and throwing them away. This has been also later adopted in the gastronomy and the other sectors in France. In Norway, you actually have supermarkets that sell out-of-date produces, something that you can't do due to legal restrictions in Germany. Or in South Korea, they have a concept where you pay for the amount of food trash that you create. So the less you create or cause, the less you pay for it. And there are other concepts that are well known and also being practiced in Germany, despite the fact that they are illegal. For example, dumpster diving, where you dive through the dumpsters of supermarkets or other organizations and try to extract food that is still edible and can be consumed. But as I said, it's not legal, so we're not encouraging that behavior. Yet another alternative is food sharing, a more crowdsourced approach to combating the food waste problem. So what is food sharing? There are at least two meanings to the word food sharing that we would like to clarify a little bit. So the first one being the concept or the idea of sharing food that you have. Obviously not the food that you just bought, but primarily food that you are not going to consume either because you don't have enough time or it was just too much or it's about to get bad. So just the idea of preventing food waste by giving it away to friends, family and other people so that you can keep that food in the loop and not have to throw it away. The second meaning that we would like to focus in this video is food sharing as a platform in a large organization and community. It was founded in 2012 and it's a very decentralized and self-organized approach. So various small chapters come together under a larger umbrella for, let's say, a county and then for a city and then for whole Germany and then for other countries. So all of those small groups are self-organized but work together under a larger umbrella. As of May 2023, food sharing has saved roughly 100 million tons of food. They have more than 500,000 registered members, all of them volunteers, and they cooperate with more than 14,000 businesses that are willing to give the food that they would throw away to food sharing and then let the food sharers distribute the food and to larger societies. Very important, food sharing is collecting the food after other charity organizations like the Tafel have been there and we just take what they could not take for various reasons. And how does this now work? So you can go to the website with a link that will provide you in the text and then you will find a page where you can register and become a user on the food sharing website. As a user, you can share your own leftovers or collect food from others. There's usually a map and you have some kind of food baskets that indicate what kind of food can be collected, or you can put or upload images yourself to indicate what kind of food you have and where you can pick it up at what times. The next level on the user scale is a so-called food saver. You can pass a quiz that tests some knowledge and some rules on how food saving works. And if you pass that quiz and become a food saver, you're allowed to collect or save leftovers from collaborating businesses that cooperate with food sharing. You then can, of course, take some food for yourself that you can utilize, but the main idea is to redistribute the saved food among fans and other food sharers in the community and people who need it. Then the third relevant level from the operational perspectives are the so-called operation managers, or in Germany Betriebsverantwortliche, who manage cooperations with a specific business and manage a team of food savers and organize a collection schedule. So usually for most organizations or businesses, roughly 2 to 4 food savers per day collect food in an organized manner according to the rules of food sharing take it home, distribute it among the people. And then the next day, you have other people doing the same job, and then, I don't know, once a week or once every 2 weeks, each food saver can collect food from that organization or cooperating business. There are some strict rules on how the saving operations are conducted, but there are also some more general rules or some kind of code of conduct for the food sharing community. Just keep or take what you can consume, redistribute everything else as soon as possible and as timely as possible. Most businesses also don't want to be publicly mentioned because, I mean, on one hand, it's a good image that they cooperate with food sharing because they combat food waste, but it's a bad image if you throw away huge amounts of food every day, and that doesn't really leave a good impression. And people are also supposed to buy their food at a supermarket and not just pick it up for free on the backs of the supermarket. So they're a little bit in a difficult situation. And that's why usually they do not want to be publicly mentioned explicitly. Food collection schedules must be adhered to, so it's very organized. Each food saver only collects once every week or once every 2 weeks. There are also some other rules that pertain to hygienes and to the predefined procedures for collecting the food. So the amounts of food, of course, vary depending on, is it a big supermarket or is it a small bakery? Is it Friday or is it Monday or is it a Saturday? And they can vary quite a lot. So sometimes it's just like a few apples or a few potatoes. At other days, you need several cars to just collect or save the amount of food that originates from one cooperating business. And everything in between can happen. Of course, the larger collections are rare, but they can happen, and then they are also quite challenging because you need to redistribute large amount of foods in a very short amount of time because, as we said, this is food that it was about to be thrown away, and now we're trying to make the best out of this.
Yeah, so as Benjamin explained, we are also having a food sharing community in Clausthal. At the beginning of 2020, a few friends and me found the food sharing group for all people who want to get active to combat food waste. We started cooperations with local organizations where we collect leftovers from. We collect food twice a week and bring it and store it in a cabinet with a fridge that we built in Clausthal. We call this distribution point Verteiler. And at this Verteiler, you can come and pick up food when you are part of our community. You can also bring food from your own home if you want to share it with others. At the moment, there are 100 people involved in our Clausthal food sharing group. Of course, the level of engagement differs between our members. Some people help collect food every week, while some people mostly pick up the food at the Verteiler. If you become a part of our community, at the beginning, we will explain how everything works and what you can do in detail. We also have different communication channels where you can ask questions and where we update everybody. Of course, we are very happy if you want to participate. If you would like to take part, you can send us an email or join our community on our website.
Today we talked about the problem of excessive food waste. While some food waste is just unavoidable, 2/3 of food waste can be avoided. The reason why we have so much food waste in the first place are, of course, manifold. Some of them originate from problems like policy failures. Others are connected to the best before date problem that we discussed earlier today. And there are some legal barriers to fix those problems, but legal actions taken in countries like France, Norway, South Korea prove that you can do better. And we also focused on some solutions to this food waste problem and focused main parts of this lecture series on the concept and the idea of food sharing.
Yeah, so just become a food sharer, join our food sharing community in Clausthal or wherever you live.